Hey, what's going on, guys? Nem here, and today we're going to have a real talk video. And I may or may not ramble. I'm doing this completely off script, but we're going to go ahead and talk about Eververse and the Dawning. And should gear be tied to this Eververse, loot pool of engrams and bright dust and all that shit? I'm not entirely sure who is the mastermind behind Eververse. I'm inclined to say it's Activision, but it could be Bungie as well. I don't know. I don't know these things, guys. So, with Destiny 2, the Dawning brought back Mayhem Clash, a mode that we had back in Destiny 1, and for some reason, it's tied to an event now. I don't know why. So it brought Mayhem Clash forward. Now, obviously, you can earn these Dawning engrams, but you only get one a week for the duration of the event, and that's only on one character. The rest of the gifts that you get on your alternate characters are going to be shaders, if I'm not mistaken, or at least that's all I have received up until this point. And you can do a couple different other milestones to get another Dawning engram. Dado made a fantastic video breaking down how much you would need to play and do to actually earn the in-game stuff. I really recommend watching that. But here's the thing. So with Mayhem coming back, it would have been the perfect way for you guys to tie this gear to Mayhem, because it's a limited event, just like Iron Banner was, or is still. And just like the faction rallies, it's a limited time event. Yet you guys chose to tie this behind a paywall, basically speaking. Now you guys are already on very thin ice, pun totally intended. And that ice is just cracking away, Bungie. With every tiptoe that you guys do, it's unfortunately cracking. And it makes me sad to say, because I love the franchise. But the franchise right now needs a whole lot of work. It needs a whole lot of remedy for you guys to stand solid again. I really hope this is the last time that we see, this gear, tied to Eververse. Emotes, I understand. Emotes are completely unnecessary cosmetic, things. And sure, this gear is plainly cosmetic too, but this is themed gear. You know what I mean? This is something that you should be able to earn in game by playing the game mode that it brought with. Just like when Iron Banner comes around and it brings its set of gear and weapons, you can play whatever mode it is and you can earn that. So why is the Dawning anything different than that? Why is the Dawning treated completely separate? It brought its own game mode, but for some reason the gear is not earnable by playing Mayhem. It's earnable by giving you money, and I don't get that anymore. Don't get me wrong, with Destiny 1 I bought silver. I was part of the problem. But with Destiny 2, no, because, well, one, we're gonna lose that eventually. If there ends up being a Destiny 3, we're gonna lose this. It's not gonna carry over, most likely, considering none of the previous stuff that we earned and bought carried over. So no, I'm not gonna buy anything. And two, again, this being an event, a temporary event that comes once a year, is tied behind a paywall instead of us having to complete compete in Mayhem. Hell, you could even tied the gear to Mayhem challenges. You know how awesome that would have been? To get like a daily set of challenges and you complete those challenges and you get, whatever gear is offered that day. Like, at this point, you guys are really losing the fan base more and more slowly every day. I recently took a poll on Twitter where I asked, if extra development time would have helped, if they were completely done with the game, and if D2 felt good to them. well, to no shocker, it was almost a 50-50 in between. The extra time would have been great, and I'm completely done with Destiny as a whole. But see, therein lies the thing. If you look at those numbers, there's still a whole lot of people that have or had hope in the game, because clearly the top vote it's leading. Sure, the complete I'm done with Destiny completely is pretty strong as well. But I feel like if you guys were to make the right move here, you guys can bring those people back. Stop tying these really amazing, beautiful design pieces of gear to Eververse. Like, it just doesn't make any sense for an event. For me as a consumer who has already paid for the game, and I paid for the season pass, and I bought the game on PC as well because I wanted to play it at 60 frames per second. That in order for me to truly get the most out of an event, I still have to fork out cash to try and get the gear. And sure, there's the whole system of like, oh well, you can just dismantle, whatever you want to get the Bright Dust. But here's the thing with that. Let's take a look at the prices here for the Bright Dust gear that you can buy. So for the robes, it costs 1,200 Bright Dust, and for the boots it costs 800. For the Sparrow it costs 2,500, and the ship costs 2,000. And the ship, an exotic ship that we can't control, that just looks pretty, that doesn't bring a special transmat effect, for it to cost that amount of Bright Dust, for it to just be a really pretty loading screen, is a little ridiculous. The Sparrow that we occasionally use, because the Dawning this year around didn't even bring SRL. I'm assuming SRL will be back in the future as its own event, but a Sparrow that we really hardly ever really get to use, because now there's multiple spawn-ins in the different patrol zones, cost 2,500 Bright Dust. Like, that's insane. Even like if you're a super like ridiculous like hardcore player that will like farm that experience bar to death, like that's still a lot of Bright Dust to like dismantle stuff so you can get that Sparrow. So Bungie, please, and this message is most likely going to fall on deaf ears and they're not going to hear it, but please stop tying these amazing themed gear behind the paywall that is the Eververse system. Like, for the ships and Sparrows, I really don't care about like using those. I still believe that they should be earnable in game as they once were. Like, I mean, there's no raid ships, there's no raid Sparrows. Like, that's a little weird. The only thing that I can justify like Eververse having is like the exotic weapon ornaments. Like, that's it. The transmat effects, we have a shipwright that doesn't do anything. Tie the transmat effects to her. Have her sell the transmat effects. Have random blues drop in the world, and then because she already has the method that if you have 3 blues you can turn it into a random purple, like, why is that not a thing? We have Amanda just chilling selling green ships and Sparrows. Like, she's literally just like a useless NPC when you have these really, really cool looking transmat that you can tie to her into the game. But again, the most likely this message will fall upon deaf ears. Bungie, I love Destiny. I really, really do. Otherwise, I would not have poured around 3,000 hours in the first game. But at some point, as a player, I would like to not feel taken advantage of. And I know there's a lot of people that are, they're gonna disagree with my point, and that's fine. If you like to, you know, pay out money for these things, more power to you. But for something that's themed and it has its own game mode, just like Iron Banner, just like Trials, and it only comes once a year, for it to be behind a paywall, it's a little disheartening. And right now, I mean, the communication between you guys and us has been fantastic, and I love it, and I want to see more of that. But right now, we just need a little bit more effort to show that you guys care about, you know, your players, the people that are ultimately going to be keeping the game alive. And I really don't see how tying this gear and these sparrows and these ships to a paywall, I really don't think that sends out the proper message. But that's gonna be it for me, guys. I kind of needed to get that out of my system, so let me know what you guys think. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. If you agree with me, let me know in the comment below. But other than that, I hope you guys have fun in Mayhem. Don't spam too many Nova Bombs while you can. Don't get banned or whatever. But that's it, guys. I hope you guys have a good one. Nem out. We'll see you in the next one.